tried and true measure, though, boys, is the Premiership window, and we are 3 weeks out from September, 3 rounds to go. So we're going to take a look at the Premiership window. First, round 16 was the last time, Lee, that we had a look at it, and you can see the 4 sides sitting in there. Gold Coast teetering on the edge of being in the Premiership window. The Pies, the Hawks, the Crows and the Cats. If we fast forward through now, well, 3 teams remain in there. Gold Coast have found their way in there. The big slider.
A few contenders. There's 7 chances there.
Yeah.
Probably Hawthorn might be a bit too far out there, but that gives the window big chance to succeed once again, Bucks, for the 20th season in a row.
And in the next 3 rounds, can the Dogs creep back up into it themselves? You want to look at that big divide between the haves and have-nots there, like the top 9 and the bottom 9. That's only got bigger. But, Brisbane dropped off a little bit. The Giants have got a little closer, even with that result with the Dogs.
Are you worried, Brownie? Because I imagine you would still have Brisbane at the pointy end come the Premiership race. And we love the Premiership window, but at the moment, they don't marry up.
No, they don't. But I tend to look at it. I'm a big supporter of the window, don't get me wrong.
Here we go.
I was one of the original backers with the window, but their form against big teams. When they come against good opposition, Geelong, Hawthorn and Collingwood, namely the last few weeks, they step up to the plate. So you wouldn't want to be running into the big boys in September.
You want to be in the Premiership. Were they in the Premiership window last grand final day, you think?
Yes, they were.
Tried and true measure.
Exactly right. No, not before, during
20.
the game, after the game.
After the game.
I think they're a chance to work their way in. But it will be concerning for me, Jack. If you ask me after round 23 or round 24 and they're sitting outside the window, that's very concerning.
I reckon we might revisit it
between round 16 and round 21 when that had changed. Brisbane had played 4 of the top 8 sides.
Yeah.
Geelong only 1. So there are things that have certainly gone against Brisbane. Adelaide have played 3. Collingwood have played 3. Gold Coast have played 3. So there's some sides actually stacking up in that particular area playing top 9 sides. Brisbane have played the 4.
Don't question the credibility of the window.
Let's get into the weekend of footy, Brownie. It was one of the blockbusters, touted as one of the big games, obviously, a rematch of 2023 grand final. And it was Brisbane that came to town and put the Pies to the sword, especially in the
Great response, led by Chris Fagan. Straight at the press conference after the Q clash, the debacle of the Q clash, and Gold Coast just dismantled them around the midfield, and they responded, didn't they? So they were stung by that. Their second half against the Pies was outstanding. Like, look at those numbers. Plus 19 contested, plus 18 clearance, and players say obviously they got the territory right, but the pressure was through the roof. That 32 tackles, I think it was, in the third quarter alone, in a dry night was incredible, and they were all coming. Like, even Bailey and Rayner went up around the midfield in that third quarter. They were aggressive, just cracking bodies, and it was just great to see. So you can see the midfielders leading the way. The big boys there, McCluggage, Neal, Dunkley's, the Ashcroft fellas. They're just so deep. So I mentioned those boys, the Ashcroft brothers, Rayner, Bailey, Berry. So they're the deepest midfield in the competition. They're tough, they're hardened individuals, and they've got a lot of talent with foot skills and by hand as well. So they were fantastic, I thought.
And Darcy Ford had a sneaky good game on the weekend too against Darcy Cameron. Obviously Oscar McInerney.
Who would you least like to get tackled by currently?
Rayner.
He hits like a sledgehammer, doesn't he?
Ball, isn't he? Yeah.
He had 7 or 8 tackles, and they're all really tough ones,
Let's talk about a team that looks like they may be out in front of everyone at the moment. That's the Adelaide Football Club. They are playing blistering footy, and they're the only team at the moment that sits at the top of or around the top of the ladder in that top 9 that is unscathed by being beaten heavily by another top 9 contender. Geelong have had a pretty soft run, but everyone else has had a big loss, Brownie, except for the Crows, and they are just humming along nicely.
Oh, they are. They're well led, aren't they? And I know you're on the All-Australian committee, but this man sealed the deal as the All-Australian captain on Friday night. Jordan Doyle, he's got it, absolutely. Got a little C on his jacket, on the blazer. His second quarter was unbelievable.
Noah Anderson says g'day.
Yeah, Noah Anderson's been outstanding, but normally you've got to get into an All-Australian team before you get given the captaincy. I'd be surprised if he gets it first year.
Oh.
What's
No, fair enough. I'll have a say, you won't.
I'll give us something. But all the great leaders and used to do it, Bucks, the benefit of playing with the great Michael Voss. They sense moments in games, and obviously they were under pressure at quarter time. They were 5 goals down, and this man just stepped up to the plate with his actions. He was brilliant. He puts himself in dangerous situations. more often than not in the forward half. We saw he was well beaten by Josh Dunkley a few weeks ago, and then he went forward in that last quarter and got the Crows home. So displays all the qualities of a great captain, and that's why he'll be All-Australian captain.
Definitive statements. Yeah, you're going to be good in the media. Hey, if he was good, well, then Isaac Rankin was excellent as well. I mean, that captain backed up the coach's calm and everything at quarter time. This bloke has heard his coaches, has heard what his team needs. He's sacrificed a little bit of midfield time and maybe some possessions.
Have they found the right balance for him? Because it was going to be predominantly midfield early on, but Soligo, he's come on as a player. Dawson's obviously a star now. The balance for Isaac, it's right, isn't it?
In the end, you use your players where you need them. And not many blokes are doing what Isaac Rankin does at forward 50, so you want him there. Yes, he can be there as a midfielder, but you put him there as a forward, he probably has covered 100, 150 metres less over the last sort of 90 seconds leading into that. Hasn't been bashed from pillar to post. He's got a little bit more energy. He's playing a 70 to 75% game time as a high forward, let alone like outside of an 80 or 85 as a mid. So it's whatever Adelaide are doing, whatever their mix is at the moment, you work with it until you need something different. I can see Isaac Rankin going into the middle for a 10-minute period in a final, in the third quarter, last quarter, and unleashing him into the midfield.
He's their opening bounce grand final.
Well, both of them are healthy too. Rankin and Thilthorpe have been healthy this year.
They'll even pop him sometime in the goal square as like the quasi full forward for a short period of time and let the big guys. Yeah. He's such a good one-on-one player, Rankin. I mean, that left foot goal he kicked out in the middle of the last quarter. I mean, that was just incredibly skillful.
The other side of the coin is Hawthorn battling to make the 8. The Hollywood Hawks, many had them rising up to top 4 contention this year, Geordie. It's been a dramatic fall-off, and they're going to have to do it without their superstar, Will Day.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be a tough month of football, and the one silver lining was that they were going to get Will Day back. So he hasn't been back for long, and now they're going to have to find ways to do it without him. So that's going to be tough, and that's probably why I lose confidence in maybe them being a premiership contender this year. Let's hope they still make finals. Their final spot is still in jeopardy, but you're going to have to rely on the mids that are already there in Nash stepping up again. John Newcomb's form over recent weeks has probably dropped off a little bit in terms of being involved in the scoring change.
Does that concern you the most because he has to carry such a load?
Well, I think what sides do is they go, well, they've got one effectively A-grade midfielder. Yeah. Let's sit on him. And then, you're dealing with sort of Nash and Morrison on the wing and Ward.
He subbed out 2 weeks ago, John Newcomb.
Yeah, so maybe that's a management issue.
Was it a message or a management?
No, I think it's a management issue that maybe he's carrying, and that's the thing that we never know here, that what these players are carrying. The one part that I would love to see, and we've seen glimpses of it, Nick Watson in the middle. For me, he has to play that Cozzy Pickett type role.
He attended the first centre bounce against Adelaide probably 7 weeks ago at half-time and was a difference maker.
Yep. Two centre bounce attendances in a game of football for Nick Watson is not enough. Nowhere near enough. So if you compare that to Cozzy Pickett, who I think he can play the same role. When we're at Hawthorn, Rioli, Luke Bruce, Piopolo all supported the inside mids that can't spread. Pickett the last 2 weeks has been to 24 centre bounces one game, 24 centre bounces the next game. You can't tell me Nick Watson, if he lines up against any player in the competition, they wouldn't be worried.
Why is this not happening?
So where does the 21 that Will Day's gone in there, how would you spread that 21 amongst...
He can go half forward. Why can't Will Day start half forward?
No, Will Day's not there now.
Is that 21 literally to Nick Watson now?
I would be putting Nick Watson in at least 15 times.
So why isn't this happening, though? Like Sam Mitchell played in that era. Is this players not wanting to come out of centre bounce? Is this a directive from the coaches?
Well, don't worry about players not wanting to come out of centre bounce. It's not their decision. It's this decision of the coaching staff on what sort of makeup they want in that midfield. And they won centre bounces on the weekend, but they didn't score from centre bounce. So everything is in tight. They've got, Will Day's probably that player that can break into the open spaces. Nick Watson's that player. You've got him at your disposal. I'd be really surprised this weekend if he doesn't have 15 centre bounces. And if he doesn't, I think the mix is right.
Get on your phone to your old mate.
Or Dylan Moore, as you mentioned.
Dylan Moore had 4.
Player.
Yeah.